Well, hello out there. This is your Cookie Goddess from Smalley's Cookie Goddess. Today we are making some steak tacos, and as you can see, I'm trimming up some sirloin steak. And what you want to do is, if you see any kind of gristle of fat, you kind of want to just cut around it without cutting a lot of meat, and just set it aside. I was a meat cutter for about 10 years at a grocery store, and I learned a lot of tricks of the trade when it came to meat and so forth, the cuts and how to work with what you have. So what you want to look for in a meat is try to stay away from any kind of chunk meat, because that tends to be really, really tough. It has a lot of fat, a lot of gristle. You want to go more towards your sirloins, your London broils. Tri-tip is great, but please try to get it trimmed, because a lot of fat can be on that, and you can end up cutting up to a third of fat off of your tri-tip, and you know, you're literally throwing dollars in the trash. So I'm going to show you how to cut a piece of meat without wrecking it up, and also without cutting yourself. And the trick to cutting meat is, well, a lot of meat cutters wear the steel mesh gloves, and of course I don't have one. And you know, that's okay, they make them now, but years ago they were only available to meat cutters or anybody in the industry. And now they've kind of worked their way out to the open market for the public, which is a really good thing, because it also reduces any kind of injuries. So over here we have the fat and the gristle. I'm pointing to the meat cleaver, and I'm using a meat cleaver because of the heaviness of the blade and the sturdiness of the handle. And I prefer to use a heavy cleaver to go through meat, because it just makes a lot easier cut and a more even cut, and it also comes out more clean rather than shedding the meat. So what you want to do is, when you cut meat or any kind of vegetable, take your hand and kind of make like a claw shape, and have your fingers down like that, not out like that, or else you're going to go kabam and cut your fingers off. I've seen it happen. It's very, very, very painful for anybody to go through. Pardon me. So you take your fingers, fold them back, and just have it about an inch or two away from the blade, away from the knife, and just you want to make an easy cut down. And don't put your finger right here, because what you're going to end up doing is putting the blade, there's going to be too much pressure on the blade, and the blade could actually fall off the handle. So, I mean, it gives a new meaning to the word flying off the handle, so you want to stay away from that. So have your hand about so forth, and just give a good grip on it like so, and just push down and across very slowly, and work against the grain of the meat, and that's going to give you a nice even cut as we go along. And I do apologize, I do not have a tripod to work with. I have a cell phone with a little handy tool around my neck to be able to film while I'm sitting down and showing you how to make potato steak tacos. So like I said, we're making nice even cuts without cutting through the meat, and definitely not cutting ourselves, definitely not. So as you can see, it's made some really nice tender even cuts and so forth. If you also want to make beef jerky, this is a really fine cut to be able to do that, because it's thin and it's also long. You want it to be a little bit longer for beef jerky, probably about 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches, I would say. So we're going to pause for a moment as we cut the rest of our meat, and we're going to show you how to fry it. Stay tuned.